Hi. I was going to speak about all the types of models, and I started getting them already here, and it became pretty obvious that I'm not going to fit this into one video because there's just so many models around me, and I thought I'm just going to run this one, see how much we can cover, get them out the way, and I'll do a second video as required. So let's start with the obvious. Aircraft models. I'm going to just speak about or briefly give my experience with a variety of types and what I enjoy building. So this is, let's start with that. Hasegawa old kits, absolutely lovely. I'll build one anytime, every time. They are averagely good by today's standards, but really top notch. I would definitely take that. New Airfix. Can't complain at all. That is just really, really nice to build. And in fact, I think this is the category which is the most common amongst beginner builders. I also happen to love the Mustang, and I've built many of them. I have built many of them and will build many of them. New Airfix, nothing bad to say. I mean, they do have the odd little faults that people mention on reviews and on channels, but it doesn't matter. They're still great stuff. Of the best of aircraft kits at all, Tamiya 148, that is just top notch. I do love the Spitfire. Again, can't go wrong. That is just really, really nice. I'd take that any day of the week. These sort of average to good Italeri kits, no problem either. I really enjoy building them. I also love the Hellcat. And in general, I think this Italeri range has always been good for me. Nothing bad to say there. This is an absolute gem. I mean, this is really old, and this old Matchbox Lysander is just such a beautiful model. If I ever make a list of my best 10 models ever, this would probably, it should be in that list. I do love Matchbox. They do have their oddities, large panel lines and whatever. Different people have got different complaints about them. I love them, and this one is one of the best. The type of aircraft that I'll always have time for, despite them being so aged, is these old Airfix kits. Now, I started on the Series 1 in the bubble packs, and I still love them. And then this was sort of your next level up. Really, really nice. I mean, I love the Roy Cross artwork. The kits themselves are okay to average. You can make a nice build out of it. Sometimes they're more annoying than good quality, but I'll still build them. Slightly bigger Airfix. This Tornado. Again, average to lower quality by today's standards. You could build far better quality kits, and yet for some reason I still just love the Airfix kit. When I build these kits, I'm not out to build the highest quality model that I could, otherwise I wouldn't start with the Airfix, the old Airfix. But the artwork alone just really puts me in a great sort of mindset for that model. So most of the old Airfix really just still grabs me. Old Hella. A lot of really, really nice stuff with old Hella. I don't always... there's a lot of French topics which I'm not that keen on, but if you're looking for something different, some interesting stuff there, but of course a lot of mainstream stuff as well. So I've got quite a number of these Harvards. Another 1/72, which I really think was an enjoyable build, was, well, this box is empty anyway. Academy was sort of really a great upgrade on what was available at the time. Really, really nice surface detail, not good decals. So whenever you were building one of these, you'd need to get decals elsewhere. But I have many, many of these Harvards, and I think in general Academy were making really, really good stuff. A lot of time for Academy. Without showing the box, I built this one a little while back. A very simple build. I haven't glued on these horizontal stabilizers or vertical stabilizers. A very, very simple build. Not much on the inside, and I wasn't going to go to town on it either. Just really enjoyed that. I don't commonly build modern jets, but really, really enjoyed that one. Sometimes I'll grab a kit which I sort of know up front is not good. The canopies on this one don't fit very well. This is a Blackburn skewer by, I can't remember if it was Revell or Heller. But I thought, let me just build something in between other projects. Let's see what I can make of it. So although not a great kit, I decided to try some really nice wing work with some light sanding that brought out all of the panel lines, which I really liked. So while the cockpit and canopy is just about a disaster, I was sort of really testing paintwork and all that. And then when I got to the undercarriage as well, their undercarriage mount is next to impossible. I'm still going to do it. I'm still going to tackle that. But I can see why a lot of modelers would have just had a disaster at that point, especially beginners. If you get to a point where you're supposed to have a nice undercarriage mount and it's just not there. Let's talk about him for a while. I build and paint a lot of wargame figures, fantasy figures. Let's just hold him at the back so you can actually see. This is a Minotaur with a little, I just added a little snotling on the front there. This is metal, so pretty heavy model. I do a lot of these. I do happen to do wargaming, but irrespective of the wargaming aspect of it, just as display models, they're really, really great. So I've got a lot of these Games Workshops and other white metal. This one's not Games Workshop, this is something else. A category that I quite like building, I don't have a lot of them, is engines. Or something where the technical aspect, the machinery is dominant. So I've got the beam engine as well, the beam engine, and they've got a 4-stroke engine as well, I think. But the beam engine is one that's on my workbench, intended for some attention at some point, and I've got this one as well. I quite enjoy these technical machinery type builds. So I've already spoken about motorbikes, but I absolutely love these Tamiya kits. It's worth mentioning again. Top-notch model. Everything is perfect about this. I will, however, say that they are way more work and way more fidgety than 3/4 of the other models that I've been talking about already. Nonetheless, very, very nice once finished and on the display shelf. Let's get that one out the way. 1/35 armor. I've built quite a number of tanks. This half track is quite an interesting piece. I haven't finished it yet. I'm about a third of the way into it. With the armor, it's very forgiving, so it's a very good topic for beginner to intermediate modelers. You can well, you almost have to do a lot of weathering, but it means you don't need to be great on your paintwork initially. And even if you're heavy-handed with the weathering, it just fits right in. Really, really nice stuff. There's huge ranges of 1/35 armor by many manufacturers, and a really popular topic. I do enjoy them. This is something that I don't do a whole lot of, but I do some, and that's buildings, structures. This one is a pump house, boiler house, and I'm not, like, when I get these things, I'm hardly looking for a particular type of thing. I'm just thinking, oh, there's a building, okay, what could I do with that? Build some interesting diorama or just display them as they are. You can see some houses above me over there. Those are all the super quick range, which I am busy on one here as well. The cardboard models, I've been putting in the clear parts for the windows. I haven't built a ton of them, but I do enjoy them. They're something different. There's the lower story for this for this house. And I've done a wooden version. This is a signal box. Well, I'm still busy on it. Designed for HO scale. I don't do railway, but I do like many of the models associated with railway. Ships, smaller scale and 1/350th. These are, I would say, the more finicky and the more delicate, the most delicate of all the models. Once you get into it, very, very nice build. Nice to display. They don't take up a whole lot of space in the shelf. But you've got to work with some very small parts, and unlike an aeroplane which starts taking shape up front and you really get a feel for it, the ship is a lot of slow going once you get down to all the little small parts that need to be put on. But still, I've got a huge range of these. I really do like them. This is the HMS Hood, which I built some time back. Not perfect. I got it secondhand from someone. 1 or 2 pieces missing, a couple of pieces broken due to touching it too often. But still, a very, very nice model. And when you build the ships, you sort of research their history and you really get into it. I'm sure most of you know what this is. One of the old Matchbox 1/76 diorama bases. For something so simple and those small models, these are still excellent pieces to do something with, whether you use the original vehicle on it or not. Matchbox had that amazing range where they supplied the diorama bases. Really, really nice. I do like the small armor as well. Some of the bigger wargame. This is the top of a fantasy telescope building. I do a bit of that as well. Very, very nice. You get to practice with some interesting paint effects that you wouldn't necessarily use on other model types. So some quite interesting different stuff there. So the cars, you've almost got 3 different categories, I'd say. I was speaking about my Porsche 356. This is another of those similar models by Fujimi. Tons and tons of parts, absolutely hugely detailed models, but very slow going, and you only really grab them if you really have the energy for one of those. The opposite end of the spectrum would be the very, very nice model cars without much interior detail, which you can finish a lot quicker. Tamiya has a really, really huge and awesome range of cars in that category. Not difficult. You can do a very nice spray job and you can finish them fairly quickly, and they look absolutely awesome. And then sort of midway in between that are cars that are not absent in detail, but they're not as full as those Fujimi kits. I've never built a Formula One car. I keep on scheduling it, and I've still never built one. I really should get this one. Well, not this one. I've got a Benetton Ford which is scheduled for building first. But this is a really, really nice kit. 1/20th scale as opposed to the 1/24th of most cars. Their Formula One range is in 1/20th. I do build cars, and I don't build enough of them. Especially those easy to build ones. I really should do a lot more builds. Okay, so I think that's what I haven't covered. I will go and dig out and cover in a second video, because there are just so many models. If you saw what was around here. What I don't like is the hard plastic that some Eastern Bloc manufacturers make. I've abandoned a couple of models that I'd taken from that I decided to start, and sometimes not even only Eastern Bloc. Here and there you find a kit that shouldn't be as bad as it is as far as working with the plastic. Although in general I stay away from Eastern Bloc manufacturers. I have got resin figures. I have got I've got the plastic figures as well. Yeah, I suppose that's two categories I can speak about in a second video. I don't do a lot of them, but here and there I do something. By the way, there's the main section of that telescope, that fantasy telescope that I was talking about, and some wargaming figures there. White metal parts, and yeah, I'll grab together a collection of stuff that I haven't covered in this video. Well, hope you enjoyed that. Cheers.